My brother-in-law, Sammy, lost his home shortly after his divorce 10 months ago. He moved in with us and brought his twin daughters, Olivia and Selene, 18, with him a couple of months ago. His sister, my wife, and I have one daughter, Zoey, 16, and she and her cousins aren't close but get along fine. Olivia and Selene have no respect for Zoey's privacy. None. They used to walk into her room and take everything they get their hands on. Makeup, phone accessories, clothes, school laptop, etc. Zoey complained a lot, and I've already asked the girls to respect Zoey's privacy and stop taking things. My wife and Sammy saw no issue with this. After all, they're girls, and this is typical teenage girls' behavior. I completely disagree. Last straw was when Zoey bought a $60 MAC makeup kit that looks like a paint set that she saved up for over a month. And one of the girls, Sloane, took it without permission and ruined it by mixing shades together while using it. Don't know much about makeup, but that's what Zoey said when she found the kit on her bed and was crying. I told my wife and she said she'd ask Sloane to apologize. But I got Zoey a lock after I found she was moving valuable belongings out the house because of this incident. Sammy and his daughters saw the lock and weren't happy. The girls were extremely upset. Sammy asked about it and I straight up told him. He said, "My daughters aren't thieves. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff." He said Zoey could easily get another makeup kit for $15 from Walmart and shouldn't even be buying expensive adult makeup in the first place, and suggested my wife take care of this defect in Zoey's personality, trying to appear older than she is. He accused me of being overprotective and babying Zoey with this level of enablement. I told him this is between me and my wife, but she shamed me for putting a lock on Zoey's door for her cousins to see and preventing them from spending time with her, saying I was supposed to treat them like daughters. Then demanded I remove it, but I said this lock does not get removed till her brother and his daughters are out of our house. She got mad I was implying we kick them out and said her family will hate me for this. So I reminded her that I let Sammy and his family move in, which is something her own family refused to do. She should start with shaming, blaming them for not taking their own son and nieces/granddaughters in. If it wasn't for her family's unwillingness to help, we wouldn't be dealing with this much disturbance at home. Everyone's been giving me and Zoey silent treatment, and my wife is very much upset over this. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. My daughters aren't thieves. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff. His daughters are in fact thieves, because there's a thin line in between stealing and borrowing, and that is our bestie, consent. His daughters don't ask yours for permission on whether they can take something from her or not. They help themselves into her room, into her cabinets and closet, take whatever they feel entitled to, use it however they want, even if they destroy it, and then, if so, your daughter might see the object they stole from her again. You are being an amazing parent, and Zoey will forever be grateful for having her back the way a parent should. Whereas your wife, I don't know if it's the fact that those are her brother's daughters or if she just doesn't care about people getting through her daughter at whatever cost, just to steal her property and damage it. Not the a-hole. Good on you for standing up for your daughter. Your wife, brother-in-law, and his daughters are the a-holes. Your wife's argument that this is preventing them from spending time with her is completely invalid. They go into her room when she isn't there and take her stuff. Besides, they can spend time together in the living room or wherever else. Your brother-in-law is ignorant. Mac versus Walmart has no comparison. Calling your daughter a defect is rich, from a man whose adult daughters steal from a child. Perhaps you should fix this defect in their personalities. Stand your ground. This means so much to your daughter. You cannot fathom. Wife needs to stop enabling brother-in-law, cousins' bad behavior. She's essentially picking them over her own husband and daughter. But I'm certain she doesn't see that. I had a belated Christmas gathering last week with my extended family. The custom for this event is that we exchange stocking stuffers, nothing over $10. Ever since we've had this gathering, I've always bought scratch-off lottery tickets for all the adults. As you would expect, they are almost always trash, but every year we have a few hit for extra ticket, $2, $5, even $10. One year my uncle's ticket hit for $50 and everyone went crazy. It's always a good time. So this year my 23-year-old cousin goes nuts. He holds his ticket up and claims that he just hit the max jackpot, $50,000. Everyone rushes over. A couple of my uncles verify. Yup, this kid just won $50K. I was freaking elated. I scooped him up in a big bear hug and said, "Merry Christmas, you lucky hey-hole." He was screaming and his mom was actually in tears, and whole room was excited. It was literally one of the top 10 experiences of my life. I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket, and I pull it out to see my wife has sent me a text message that says, "Come out to the car." I go outside and can tell by her body language she is pissed. She told me there is no way that we are giving my cousin $50K, then starts fussing at me about buying the lotto tickets to begin with. Two things to explain. I'm not saying that $50,000 isn't a lot of money. It's a ton. But I'm in my mid-40s. I have a 2-decade professional career. My wife is a stay-at-home mom by choice. We drive late-model cars that are paid for. Our retirements and the kids' college accounts are fully funded. Our only debt is the house. I'm saying this to show while $50,000 would be nice to have, it's not life-changing money for us. My cousin, on the other hand, just graduated from college and was one of those fiercely independent women who refused charity. She took on extra jobs to help him pay for school. He worked at least 2 jobs himself while going to school full-time and still managed Dean's List. But he still had to take out loans. He landed a job, but he can't afford a car yet or to live close to the office. So he's looking at nearly 2-hour commute. He's also saving for an engagement ring for his sweet girlfriend of 3 years. This money would literally change this kid's life. And frankly, I think it couldn't have gone to a better member of my family. I explained to her that we're not giving him $50,000. We gave him a ticket I spent $5 on. She's not buying, and she won't let it go. She's now demanding I go back in there and take the ticket back from him, saying maybe we'll give him some of it. We argue a little bit. I can't get her to explain why she wants this money so bad, other than it's ours and you're not giving it away. We fought all the way home, and she hasn't spoken more than a couple of words to me since. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your wife wouldn't want the ticket if it were worth $0, or even the $50 your uncle won, would she? She wouldn't demand you'd go back in there and do some takesies backsies for $0. Your wife is completely in the wrong. You are right. You have not given away $50,000. You gave him a gift that could have been worth $0 at the end of the day, for a bit of a laugh. And the lucky sod got lucky. I would just not talk to her either. I'm very disappointed in this poor show of character and hope she sleeps it off. Besides, legally, there were witnesses who saw you give the ticket to him as a gift, and saw him scratch it and subsequently win. Morally and legally, it's his money, not yours or hers. Not the a-hole. The purpose of a lottery ticket is literally to win money. Your wife knows this. We all know this. She was fine with you giving these as a gift until someone actually won something real. Come on now, I get it. I've had that thought when I've gifted lottery tickets to family while they were scratching off. Yeah, that little voice was in my head going, "Watch this dude hit the jackpot." Yeah, I'd be pissed that I didn't get it, but I gave it to them as a gift. Yeah, it sucks y'all didn't win it, but at the same time, it's so great for your cousin and a decent person would get over it and be happy for them. Her parents always looked down on me, and I can somewhat understand why, given my past and how me and my wife met. At 23 years old, I was a homeless man. My wife was the first person who was nice to me. Always got kicked out of this small restaurant when I was trying to avoid the rain. She was there and pretended that we were meeting so they'd let me stay. Got a free meal and we talked for a long time. She really helped turn my life around. Stuff like helping me fill out job application. From there, we became good friends. 2 years after that, after getting my life together first, thanks to her, I asked her out on a date. Her family never approved of our relationship because they thought I was trash due to how my life was when we met. Which, again, I get it. But after 4 years of us being in a relationship, me having the same steady full-time job to help with the bills for years, they didn't even come to the wedding. Then when my son was born a year after, they still wanted nothing to do with us. So we haven't had contact in years since my son was a baby. Now he's 16, and they contacted us out of the blue. They still don't care to talk to either me or my wife, but they were willing to put their feelings aside to get to know him. We never went into details with him about why we don't talk to them, and he's never asked much before. We left the choice to him if he'd like to meet them or not, and he agreed to it. He's gone over to spend time on several occasions the past 3 months. Finally, the other day he asks us why we didn't keep contact with them. To him, they seemed like nice people, so he doesn't get what the conflict was. They told him we stopped talking over a conflict we had, but left out that they were the ones who didn't want to see us. So we told him the truth. My son already knows about my past. That's something I've never wanted to hide from him. We told him they never approved our relationship because I used to be homeless, and they never wanted to be part of our lives since then. He got mad at them. Now they are mad at us. My son doesn't want to talk to them, and they sent us screenshots of some of the things he told them. No insults or inappropriate language, but just what he thought of them. And they think we're a-holes because they were finally building a relationship with him, and we ruined it. For now, my son says he doesn't want to be involved with people like that. We've talked to him several times. He still hasn't changed his mind. It was my choice to tell him why, and my wife supported that. Now, with how things have turned on, I wonder if I was an a-hole like they seem to think I am. Now the top comments. Why on earth would you let your child have a relationship with someone who refused to treat you or your wife with consideration and respect? Genuinely baffled as to why you would allow this, knowing they're not good people. And how did none of you see this coming? Did the grandparents expect you to cover for them? Did you think that your son wouldn't be interested in the source of the dispute? Wouldn't you expect your son to stand up for his parents and be appalled at how you and his mother were, and still are being, treated by these people? Why are you still allowing the grandparents to treat you badly? Not the a-hole. You weren't spiteful or cruel. You didn't lie or even exaggerate. Heck, you didn't even go out of your way to stand in the way of their having a relationship with your son, despite everything your in-laws had done to hurt you. The truth is this simple. If your in-laws had been more genuinely compassionate people at any time in all these years, then your own son, who you've clearly raised to be a thoughtful young man, would have had more compassion towards them as well. They are living with the consequences of their own actions, as difficult as that may be for them to face. And you are not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. First, well done, my friend. Homelessness is very, very, very difficult to dig out of. Sounds like your wife is an amazing person, and her parents are fools to not want her or you in their lives. Thank you for being honest with your child. Nothing tarnishes a relationship faster than dishonesty, even if it's dishonesty through omission. Your child is old enough to make his own life decisions now, to determine the type of people he wants to be around, and clearly he has empathy for others. Thank you for being honest with him, and truly, you've put in a lot of work to be where you are. You should be proud. It's clear your son is proud of you, and your wife too. All three of you are better without her folks in the picture. My female 32, boyfriend, male 37, of 7 years, got injured while working in the backyard again, and went to the ER via an ambulance that I paid for since he doesn't have money. He called me later to tell me he was in the hospital getting treated for his injury, and assured me it wasn't serious, then told me to pick him up and take him home, but I said I was busy in the middle of a project with my coworkers, so I couldn't leave. He said he had no one to give him a ride and, as usual, said no to Uber. Then said my boss will make an exception for me, which might have been true, but I said I was sorry, but I'm fairly new to work and it would be unprofessional of me to leave like that. He pressured me, but I didn't cave and stopped answering his calls. I got off work, came home in the evening, and he saw me and screamed at me words like selfish and uncaring for refusing to leave work to give him a ride home and leave him to fend for himself this way. I had enough and told him this is the 10th time he had an accident where he needed me to leave work and come give him a ride, either home or to the hospital. Also, he knows that I got kicked out of my old job for continuously leaving at random times to come to him for the same reasons. But this is my new job, and I'm making sure I won't lose it too since he doesn't take Ubers and say just come get me. How hard could that be? It's not like I'm asking you to carry me on your back every time. He was still convinced I was wrong for not dropping work and rushing to get him home, and said my true colors are showing and they ain't pretty. Like what? What is that supposed to mean? Anyways, he remained upset and insisted I prioritized work over him, which isn't good. Am I the a-hole for not leaving mid-work to go pick him up after he already caused to lose my old job because of this? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Girl, throw the whole man away. You are not a taxi service. He does not care about you, your well-being, or your job. It would seem that he is trying to control you through having multiple accidents that require you to drop everything and come running. I would not be surprised if this escalates to physical abuse. Please be safe and plan an exit strategy. So, to recap, your boyfriend is addicted to drugs, seems to get injured on purpose in order to get drugs and force you to take care of him. The reason you lost your old job, doesn't financially contribute to anything, and above all doesn't appreciate you paying for everything and making all the sacrifices. He also insults you and tries to twist everything to be your fault instead of taking accountability when he doesn't get his way. So my question is, why do you think this is the best that you deserve? He sounds awful and you could do so much better. Why don't you deserve that?